What about my love? Wasn't it enough? Just let me know so I can hold.
We're going to get into some key players for the Chiefs. What player will make the biggest impact for the Chiefs? It could be your MVP. It could just be who we think is probably going to be that guy that doesn't get mentioned as much as he probably should. So, because we'll get into our Super Bowl MVP during our prediction. But with that being said, key players for the Chiefs. Logan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, in my opinion, whoever can win more wide receiver versus DB reps is going to win this game because we know both pass rushers are going to be able to do their thing. So I'm going to go with Rashee Rice. I think he's going to need to have a pretty big game for the Chiefs to win this one. I don't have them winning it. I still think he's going to have a pretty solid performance in this game. I think he's going to be a very good player. But in terms of, what's really going to matter in this game, it's going to be can they get Rashee Rice involved, and I think they will. So he's the pivotal player on offense for the Chiefs, in my opinion.
The pivotal player, pivotal.
Pivotal.
I don't disagree with that. Rashee Rice has been so consistent for them that I honestly think they should put him at wide receiver number 1 for how much that he's meant to their offense. He's been absolutely incredible. But Vic, who's your key player for the Chiefs?
Key player for the Chiefs will be Patrick Mahomes. Listen, that man is the linchpin of this offense. Without him, they're going nowhere. We've seen that patchwork that they try to do with the receivers. We've seen that Travis Kelce hasn't been the best this year. I honestly believe he's been playing injured all season. Pacheco, for as hard as he runs, he hasn't been putting up a lot of numbers. So again, without Patrick Mahomes, this whole thing fails. If he's injured, we saw last year in the Super Bowl, he was injured. Chiefs didn't look good. If he's not playing, it's automatic that the Niners are going to win. So if Patrick Mahomes is on his game, we know he can create miracles. We know when he plays out there, it's like you're watching a kid playing backyard football. If he's doing that and he's having fun, there's no stopping him.
I mean, it's kind of obvious, but it is important. I mean, without Patrick Mahomes, this thing is not the way it is. With the lackluster receivers that he's had, with not having a solid number 2 running back. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been everything I said he was probably going to be in this league. He's probably a number 3 at best on any team. And Isaiah Pacheco has been a pretty bright spot for them, but he's been kind of, a lot of people don't want to say it, but he's,
On this team, is there any other player other than Patrick Mahomes that you can say they can take over a game?
On offense or defense?
On offense.
Travis Kelce.
Who gets him the ball?
Travis Kelce barely had 1,000 yards this year.
Isaiah Pacheco. I love Isaiah Pacheco, bro.
He's good for the morale when you see those hard runs and you see how he's wearing.
He runs like Ahmad Bradshaw, man. He runs hard.
But he has to gain more yards. That's his only issue.
Of course, he had to make a Giants comparison.
But
Bradshaw played for what, 8 years? Stop.
You know what? Fine. He runs like muscle hamster. He runs like muscle hamster.
If we're not bringing it back to Batman of the Giants, this ain't Logan here. Okay, this is just AI.
Yeah. My key player is on the defensive side of the ball. And you guys are probably going to say Trent McDuffie.
George Karlaftis.
George Karlaftis. No, it's neither one. It's a guy that's been leading in tackles this whole postseason, which has been Nick Bolton.
I love Nick Bolton, bro.
The reason why I say Nick Bolton is when you take a step back, what is one thing that people have always struggled with? And we can look at the Eagles. Teams across the league have struggled with tackling all year long.
Which is crazy.
And you're going to go against a souped-up Christian McCaffrey. You're going to go against a George Kittle who can break tackles on you. You're going to go against Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel hitting the middle of the field trying to juke you out your shoes. Who is the most consistent tackler probably in the whole NFL? It's been Nick Bolton. And he's going to make the biggest difference being sideline to sideline, and I'm sure he's going to match up against Deebo Samuel, and I'm sure he's going to meet Christian McCaffrey over the middle of the field somewhere. And his job is going to need to be, you might be able to get this catch, but you're not going to get that yak. And he can prevent that. I think that he's the biggest key in this game, and he needs to be involved, and he needs to be healthy the whole game, or they're going to have problems. Because I have concerns about Trent McDuffie's tackling ability and L'Jarius Sneed and Justin Reed and all those guys. I still have my question marks about them. I almost wanted to put George Karlaftis here because I know how much of a game record that he can be.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest. Brock Purdy's going to be able to run the ball too.
Yeah.
He showed it these last couple of weeks that he can get out the pocket and run too and make
move.
things happen. And he's going to get the ball out quick when those dudes are open. But who can stop forward momentum all the time is Nick Bolton. I think he's the most important in this whole matchup. I know it's not a popular answer, but I'm just bringing it back to the fundamentals of the game and how you stop the 49ers from that. You know, when they're steamrolling people, it's a lot of yak that's happening.
Yep.
It's a lot of extra yards that are happening unnecessarily. Yep. That's what got whatchamacallit them got killed in the NFC Championship. All that yak that was happening, man. So
and yards after first contact. That's another thing, and that's something Nick Bolton ain't about.
Yeah.
He's a sure tackler.
Tackling Deebo Samuel is very hard though, man. Not for Nick Bolton.
Well, one of the things you did mention when you were talking about Snead and McDuffie, the one thing I love about them is they'll agitate a receiver, especially Snead. Him going up against Deebo, agitating him, getting on his, and we all know Deebo can get hot-tempered. He can take him out of his game. McDuffie can lock down on Ayuk. I think the matchup defensively for the Niners and the Chiefs, very intriguing. I think.
Oh, them boys gonna be high-fiving before the game. Like, let's get it on.
And you mentioned George Karlaftis. Listen, the reason why, you know me, I love George Karlaftis since he was in Purdue. But the one thing I find about
both.
Him
That's
is
our guy.
He takes Trent Williams off his game. He's frustrating him. He can't get a hold of him.
I don't think he's gonna line up.
Once you take out their best lineman, he's their best pulling lineman too. Once you take him out the game, Christian McCaffrey's gonna have a tough time, especially like you said, with Nick Bolton around there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good game.
Well, that was the other thing about George Karlaftis. He usually lines up on the right side, so I don't know if he's gonna get a bunch of snaps over there. It'll be ridiculous. I'd love to see the matchup, but I don't think we're gonna see 5% of that matchup. He might line up there like once or twice, but
I think Spags got a lot of things up his sleeve. He's gonna give you a lot of looks that they haven't given out all year.
They might, but he got to deal with he got to deal with a right tackle and George Kittle too. Yeah. It's not going to be easy but Karlaftis can make a statement if he can get around both of those guys. And me and Vic going to be sitting here with a big grin on our face like,
oh, I like Karlaftis too, man.
Y'all was talking about this Aiden Hutchinson dude. Hold up.
Look, I'm telling you right now, don't let Trent McDuffie get a pick six. Listen, Beetlejuice, you better be listening. Don't let Trent McDuffie get a pick six.
Beetlejuice.
Hey, this has been awesome for me the last couple of years because not only you can't say Trent McDuffie's name without saying Super Bowl champion. You can't say Trent McDuffie's name without saying first team All Pro. Mm-hmm. But no good cornerbacks coming to Washington. I've been loving it. It's been awesome for me.